Good morning. Welcome to Carbondale Unitarian Fellowship's Spiritual Sustenance, our online alternative to Sunday services. I'm Reverend Sarah Richards, minister of this congregation of folks with open minds and hearts. We are all ages, all colors, all genders, all abilities, all kinds of wealth, and all kinds of love. If this is your first spiritual sustenance service, a special welcome to you. Please feel free to reply by email to introduce yourself or ask any questions you might have about the fellowship. This is our second week of exploring the theme, what does it mean to be a people of threshold? Last week, we talked about this universal threshold of living during a pandemic. This time, we consider the nearly universal threshold of becoming a mother. I say nearly universal because we're using an inclusive definition of motherhood. The nurture, caring, guidance, and unconditional love of another person or people who are dependent on that care and love. Some of us are or were mothered by those who gave birth to us. Most of us have someone or someones who didn't give birth to us, but who we experience as a mothering figure. Those relationships shape who we are and how we are with others. For whom are you a mothering presence? When did you realize that you had crossed a threshold to motherhood? We'll think about these and other related questions throughout spiritual sustenance. So let's get started by lighting a chalice, symbol of Unitarian Universalism. I invite you to light your own chalice or bring Carbondale Unitarian Fellowship's chalice to mind as Toby Sakin reads the chalice lighting.
Our chalice lighting this morning is adapted from the hymn, O Light of Life, found in our Singing the Living Tradition hymnal. The words are by Emmon Bach. O Light of Life that lives within us, help us to open our eyes and ears, to reach out and listen, to touch and love, that we may stand in strength and peace and live no more in fear. Sarah has lit the chalice, and I invite you all to join Bridget Rose in singing our first hymn, We Are, by Issei Barnwell. The words will be on your screen.
For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage and fathers of time. We are daughters of dust and the sons of great visions. We're sisters of mercy and brothers of love. We are lovers of life and the builders of nations. We're seekers of truth and keepers of faith. We are makers of peace and the wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage and fathers of time. We are daughters of dust and the sons of great visions. We're sisters of mercy and brothers of love. We are lovers of life and the builders of nations. We're seekers of truth and keepers of faith. We are makers of peace and the wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are.
Welcome back. It's time for all ages when we reach out to everyone who is young and or young at heart with a message on our monthly theme. So if you are young or think of yourself as youthful, regardless of how old you are, Time for All Ages includes you. Laura Basanta is going to present a special Mother's Day story.
Good morning. This is Mother Bruce. It's written by Ryan Higgins. Bruce was a bear who lived all by himself. He was a grump. He did not like sunny days. He did not like the rain. He did not like cute little animals. Quite grumpy. Bruce only liked one thing, eggs. He collected them all over the forest. Good morning, Mrs. Sparrow. Now, Bruce didn't eat eggs raw like other bears. Instead, he cooked them into fancy recipes he found on the internet. One day, Bruce came across a recipe for hard-boiled goose eggs drizzled with honey salmon sauce. So he went out for the ingredients. First, he caught some salmon. Then he collected honey from the local beehive. He liked to support local business, you see. Last, he went to Mother Goose's nest to pay her a visit. Are these eggs free range and organic? At home, Bruce prepared the eggs for hard boiling, but the fire in his stove just fizzled, so he went to get more wood. And when Bruce came back, he was met with an unwelcome surprise. Mama! It was a case of identity mistake. Bruce wanted hard-boiled eggs, not goslings. He supposed he would settle for buttered goslings on toast, but for some reason, he lost his appetite. Bruce scooped up the little geese and stomped back to their nest. I will have to ask Mrs. Goose about her return policy. But when he got to the nest, he found a note. Be back in April. Mrs. Goose had flown south early. Well, Bruce left the goslings there anyway and went back home. Mama, "Mama," said the gooselings. Bruce was followed. Bruce was very stern and said things like, "Go away," and "I am not your mother," and also, "I liked you better when you were eggs." Bruce could take it no longer and became extremely grumpy with the little goslings. "Roar," he said. It didn't work. The goslings always follow their mother, even if she is a he and he is a bear. Bruce was stuck with them. He tried to make the best of it. It was hard work. There's painting class, and bears and goslings eat different things. "Yuck, ooh, ick," they said. As the seasons passed, Bruce watched the pesky goslings grow older. Annoying baby geese, stubborn teenage geese, and boring adult geese. But one afternoon, he saw the geese in the sky. They were flying south, and finally he'd be rid of those geese and he could take a long winter's nap. Now, Bruce explained migration, but they didn't listen. He needed to give the geese some more ideas. They needed to leave. He got creative. Nothing worked, though. The geese would not leave Bruce. "How?" said Bruce. So Bruce decided to pack some bags and take his geese into town. They boarded a bus and migrated to Miami. Now, every winter, Bruce and his geese head south together. They laze on the beach in tacky t-shirts, sipping ice-cold lemonade. And Bruce dreams of new recipes, recipes that don't hatch. "Mama?" Maybe it worked. Maybe it didn't. Please listen or join in singing with Bob Swinson for our hymn, "Spirit of Life" by Carolyn McDade.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the strains of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life a shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
even when we are apart, or especially when we are apart, the time that we share our sorrows and joys is a holy time, deepening our connections with each other. I invite you to speak your own sorrows and joys aloud now, dropping a pebble into a bowl of water maybe. But however you mark your sorrows and joys, let those feelings ripple out to our unseen hearts. And now I invite you to open your heart to the sorrows shared today.
Thank you, Sarah. Thinking about the passing of Russ Trimble, Lorraine Wright spoke of how difficult it has been not being able to come together for a memorial service where we could share memories, stories, and thoughts about him at this time. She knows that at some point we will be able to do so, but not doing so now is very hard. And the same is true, she noted, about many others here and in communities everywhere who have lost friends and family members. Laura Basanta spoke of the joy of the Cuff rolling visits with members and friends this past weekend, as well as the joy of an outdoor evening get-together with friends, appropriately socially distant, but then expressed her sadness that upon parting, people couldn't hug one another. And she wondered when will we all feel safe and comfortable hugging one another again?
As we hold each other's sorrow and pain, we also seek to celebrate joys and gratitudes.
Reverend Sarah received a note this week from Roberta Blankenship, and this is what she said. How wonderful for me was a caravan of cars coming to my street last Sunday afternoon. Then Cuff drivers and occupants graced my front yard wearing their masks and carrying signs of greeting. My favorite sign said that she missed my hats. I appreciate all of the great dialogue and good wishes. We all sang, "You Are My Sunshine." This is, to me, also honors my mother, who taught me this song when I was just 5 years old. To all who came, and to those that planned this marvelous gift for me, I salute you with my feathered red hat. Miriam Link Mollison spoke of her joy in taking pictures of Maki Ito Pardiak as she played the piano at Cuff this past week. Miriam also mentioned Don's joy at being able to get some great pictures of rose-breasted grosbeak in the Basanta's front yard during the past few days. Joyce Shepard celebrated a great family virtual gathering with all her children and grandchildren this past weekend. She noted that while the family is widely spread apart, everyone came together and shared conversation and lots of fun. Jody Ruffner explained that she and her younger sister have not been close or communicative for several years for various reasons. This has been very difficult for Jody. However, with the current pandemic, things have begun to change. She and her sister have shared several sweet and lighthearted texts And this has truly been a joy for Jody. Finishing the final task of a course that she's been taking brought great happiness for Sage Banks this week. And not only did she complete the course, but she got an excellent grade in it. Time to celebrate.
For all the sorrows, joys, worries, and thanks expressed aloud or held inside, we have lit candles, and now we'll share a moment of silence. Please join Bridget in singing the hymn, "How Could Anyone?" by Libby Roderick. Words are on the screen.
How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul.
We are separated by distance, but our commitments to the fellowship and our community and our world remain. As we share our sorrows and joys, we also share our financial resources to deepen those commitments. Lorraine Wright will now introduce our Social Action Sunday recipient for this month.
Throughout May, we are dedicating our social action fundraising efforts to benefit the Southern Illinois Immigrant Rights Project, known as SIRP, S-I-I-R-P, which advocates for those without documentation or whose current legal status is threatened. SIRP offers legal assistance in applying for citizenship and in explaining to the undocumented their guaranteed legal rights. DACA students, who we also know as the Dreamers, also receive help with their university studies. A recent new SIRP project found in Cobden now helps with food and rent and schoolwork expenses for those who were laid off or who have become ill because of the COVID virus. Instructions about how to make out your check and where to mail it will be in the Sunday Sustenance announcements and in our weekly bulletins for the month. Thank you for your generous compassion for our immigrant community. And now Rhonda will present our reading.
Our reading this morning is from Compassion Collective. Mother's Day is about love. It's not about commercial, comfortable love that snuggles up and stays home. It's about love that throws open the door and marches out of our homes, beyond our fences and neighborhoods, and into the hurting world to feed the hungry, shelter the homeless, comfort the hurting, and mother the motherless. Mother's Day love is dangerous, revolutionary love that unites our one human family and reminds us that we belong to each other and that there is no such thing as other people's children. There is no thing as other people's, and there is no such thing as other people's children. This inclusive concept is echoed in the song, I Have So Many Children. It's by Susan Urban, and it's now sung by Bridget Rose.
I have so many children, though I've never born a child. Younger ones who have come to me for a place to rest a while. They will tell me their stories. I hold out what hope I can. When they leave, they carry part of me, living always in their hands. I have so many mothers, although born to only one. They have found out the worth in me, turned my darkness towards the sun. They have altered their seeds of time that would otherwise have died. I have seen all that life contains in the colors of their eyes. I have so many sisters, though I am an only child. We have joined our hands in sorrow and returned each other's smiles. We have shared our deepest secrets without judgment, without blame. For we know what is given will return to us again. I have so many children.
Our meditation this morning is by Reverend Maureen Caloran. It's called Let Us Tell Stories of Mothers. Let us tell the stories of mothers, stories that could be true. Let us tell of warm mothers, soft and round, likely to be found with flour on their nose and always ready to pour you a glass of milk to go with the cookies on your plate. These mothers are increasingly rare. Let us tell of mothers who are like bubbles of champagne. They surprise your senses, leave you giggly, but when you least expect it, they erupt with an unexpected pop. Stories that could be true. Then there are grouchy mothers, stressed mothers, exhausted mothers, faces lined with worry and spirits tired and gray. Other mothers are wise and reliable, not prone to many words or to a lot of noise, but you know that when you need them, they'll be there. Let us tell of fierce mothers, the ones who'll love you even when you're wrong. Let us also tell of absent mothers whose memory shimmers at the edges of your heart. Let us tell of distant mothers, cruel mothers, loving mothers, giving mothers. There are walkaway mothers, save the world mothers, too busy mothers, mothers you cry because you lost them, and mothers who make you cry because you can't. Stories that could be true. May we hold in our hearts the mothers we have known, those who loved us and those who tried. May we forgive the mothers who didn't get it right and try to release the knots of disappointment, anger, grief, pain. May we hold in our hearts the truth that mothering, nurturing, is a task that belongs to us all. However old or young you are, whatever your gender, may you make extra room for nurturing in your life this week. May you say something real to a harried store clerk, give a coworker a genuine compliment, take time to listen deeply to a friend. In our shared silence, may we remember and reflect and create anew the stories of love and nurture from this point forward, stories that can be true. Thanks to all who contributed to this service. Musicians, Bridget Rose, John West, Bob Swenson, Maki Ito Pardiek. And many thanks to our spiritual sustenance team, Toby Sakin, Rhonda Kosmicki, Jean Basanta, Laura Basanta, Lorraine Wright, and Amy Weber. Thanks to all who contributed to this online service, and that includes each and all of you who read the words, watch the video, sing the songs, send your check, share your sorrows and your joys. We feel each other's presence and help each other get through these difficult days. And now, if you've got someone with you, please join hands, or turn your palms up to receive and give the benediction. These words are by Carl Sandburg. Let the love of this hour go on. Let all the oaths and children and people of this love be clean as a washed stone under a waterfall in the sun. May it be so. Now, please join in singing our sung benediction, Blessings of Love, played by Maki Ito Pardiek. And again, the words will be on the screen. Amen. Go in peace with love for justice.